Good day, this is James Spencer of Spencer Music and Artist Development, located in Long Beach, California. I am a vocal, voiceover, and acting coach in the industry, and I'm starting a new series of lessons and exercises for singers and actors to continue to progress in your career. This first lesson is one of the most important, is how to take excellent care of your voice and to know specific things of vocal health. Okay, I often have new clients that come to me with vocal challenges. Many people are singers that suffer from hoarseness or allergies. People have asthma. I have seen actors come to me and say, I'm on stage, I'm losing my voice, what do I do? So I'm going to go over all that today, and hopefully these tips will be tips that will help you stay in radiant health. Okay, so the first tip is, a lot of people ask me, what should I be drinking and avoiding for maximum health of the voice? Well, obviously the first one I always say is to stay hydrated. And that means that you should be drinking daily a good 8 to 10, even more, 8 to 12 glasses of some form of a filtered water. And one thing that you can do is to add lemon slices to your water. And what lemon does is, lemon, believe it or not, is alkalining. A lot of people think it's acidic, but what it does is it alkalines your body and helps you flush better than without it. And also, lemon can cut through mucus. Okay, so if you've got that little in the back of the throat, or your sinuses are a little congested, drinking water with lemon is very good. What I usually do every day is I make up a pitcher of what I call spa water, and that is using some kind of filtered water, throwing in some lemon slices, which will alkaline the water. Then I like to throw in things that are soothing to the voice. For example, fresh mint leaves is cooling. Also, cucumber slices is very good to add. That's also very cooling and soothing, especially if you're having any form of inflammation. Okay. Also, I like to add cilantro, because cilantro is allows you to detox metals and toxins out of your body. You can also explore using other fruits, doing different types of infused water. And doing that is much better daily for your vocal health than, for example, drinking coffee, drinking soft drinks, and drinking alcohol. So my belief is avoid all that if you're a singer. And I personally, I don't do any alcohol ever. I don't drink coffee. And here's the reason. First of all, soft drinks and alcohol have quite a bit of sugar. Sugar feeds disease. Okay, sugar feeds bacteria, sugar feeds virus, sugar feeds inflammation. Okay, so avoiding that daily is going to help you with your vocal health, okay, and the maintenance of your voice. You can, if you're going to drink any caffeine, stick more towards tea, but even watch how much you're doing, okay? A little black tea is not going to hurt you, but if you're drinking like 5 to 10 cups a day, you have a problem. I'd say avoid, that tendency to go to Starbucks and get your coffee, because coffee and also tea is very acidic and also very drying to the vocal cords. So you can over dry out things. Okay, and a lot of people do that. They think, oh well, I have a busy day, I'm running around, I'll drink a bunch of coffee, and then I've seen this happen where some clients will come to me that are new, that don't know this, and they're sounding like this when they walk in the door. There's no power, and that's because their beverages have been drying them out. Okay, so again, let's review. My rule that I always say is to do lots of water, and try to drink a whole pitcher within 1 day of water, infusing it with lemon and cooling things like mint, cucumber. The other thing you want to do is avoid alcohol, which is very drying and it has a lot of sugar. Avoid soft drinks, which is very toxic to the voice, and a lot of chemicals and cornstarches and crap, basically. And if you're going to drink tea, stay more in the herbal realm and or limit your dose. Okay. The other thing that is very, very important is what I say is avoid all dairy at all costs. Okay. I personally am vegan and don't do any dairy. Dairy is a culprit that can really screw up your voice. It produces phlegm. It produces inflammation. Not good. So a lot of people then ask me, well, what are alternatives that you can do instead of doing dairy and milk? I really personally like almond milk. And almonds are alkaline, and so they don't have that acidity problem, and they don't produce the phlegm. I actually prefer that to soy milk. Soy milk, for a lot of people, can be just as phlegmy as dairy. So that's just my opinion. But soy milk, I would say, is definitely better to do than dairy. Okay. Also, with soy, though, products and tofu in general, they tend to play with people's estrogen, women's estrogen levels. They're not good in the long run. There's also a lot of, talk about GMOs and different things that are in tofu and in soy products. So I tend to personally avoid soy. That's just my opinion. Okay, but like I prefer almond milk. There's many other choices. Rice milk, coconut milk. These are all much better choices for your vocal health. Okay, so that takes care of beverages there. But now let's talk about medicinal beverages. So what if you are, like I live in California, we're coming into May now, and it's incredibly hot, incredibly dry. So that tends to create, again, dryness and inflammation in the voice. So what things might be good beverages to drink that are cooling and supportive of vocal health? So if you're experiencing that, like if you're feeling dry, you're feeling, itchy throat, those kind of things, then here are my suggestions. Herbal peppermint tea, and again, putting lemon in that and drinking that is very soothing to the voice. Adding a little honey, specifically raw honey, can also help calm that down, but also can help prevent against seasonal allergies, because honey, that specifically raw from the region you live in, is going to have the bee pollens and things of the environment. So that helps you build up an immunity to the allergy response. Okay, so peppermint tea with honey and lemon, very, very good, okay, for cooling. Another thing that's very good to do for cooling is doing aloe vera and adding that to your water. Very soothing, very cooling, very calmative to inflammation. Okay. Another thing that is very, very good to do if you're experiencing inflammation or that scratchy throat, or maybe you do have a virus, bacteria, or even fungal, is to do coconut oil. Coconut oil is one of our best responses that we can do to prevent against inflammatory issues with our vocal health. So one thing you can do with coconut is, if you've ever been outside when it's extremely hot, extremely dry, you get itchy skin, you get itchy nose, you get the all that, is to take a little coconut oil, rub it on your hands, rub it over your skin, okay? You can also do a Chinese technique. It's called oil pulling. And what oil pulling is you take like a tablespoon, dissolve the coconut oil in your mouth, swish it around, which is actually going to help heal gum issues if you happen to have that. It's going to get rid of, bad, halitosis, things like that. And then gargle with it. Get it on your throat, because it will help the healing process and it helps to soothe. Okay, so very, very good if you're experiencing that. Okay. I love coconut oil. You could also drizzle it on vegetables, put a little lemon juice. It tastes like lemon butter. Okay, much better choice than, again, dairy, which I don't believe in. Okay, so that's some thoughts then on vocal health for inflammation and dryness. Let's say you're having the opposite. Let's say you wake up and you're just phlegmy, congested, can't get, rid of the phlegm in the throat. Maybe you have a, ear infection. Maybe you're coughing. Okay. So what are some things for that concerning beverages? Okay. Then you want to go towards warming. So one thing that's very good is ginger. Okay. Ginger is a warming. It helps to cut phlegm. It's antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral. So ginger's always applicable. I prefer actually using organic ginger that you take the slices, you slice it, pop it in some hot water, okay? You can add actually turmeric powder too. Turmeric is very good for flushing. It's very good for circulation. It's very good for taking down inflammation. It's very good for pain. It's actually, I've noticed with myself, because I sit at a piano all day, that if I ever get to feel a little achy, if I just do a little turmeric, I don't have to take Advil, okay? So these are some really good things that you can do, again, for vocal health with your beverages, okay? Other choices, too, is, we talked about, water. We talked about, avoiding coffee, avoiding dairy, avoiding alcohol. Juicing is a very good thing. You just want to stay away from excessive fruit juicing, okay? And also packaged fruit juicing, which usually has a lot of preservatives and junk. So, for example, a little bit of vegetable juicing is very, very good. If you're going to do vegetable juicing, you should do organic vegetables. You should do fresh. And always add just a little tinge of ginger and lemon to, again, alkaline the vegetables to help flush, okay? So a very good cleanser I use if I'm feeling gooky, so to speak, is I do celery, a little bit of apple, a little bit of parsley, a little bit of lemon juice, a touch of ginger. Okay, that's a very good, it almost tastes like Kool-Aid, but what that's going to do is just flush, okay? Very, very good. Okay, so we talked about beverages. Okay, now let's talk about diet in general. What foods can help the quality of our vocal health? Okay, so one thing I always say is lean towards veganism. Okay, doesn't mean you have to become 100% vegan if you don't believe in that. But I'm going to be very honest and say every student I've ever worked with, as either in voice, acting, or voiceover, the ones that eliminated dairy from their diet told me that their vocal health feels 80% better. I myself was a child of very, very severe asthma, where I was in the hospital quite a bit. I became holistic and started to use more natural doctors, acupuncture, that kind of thing in my 20s. And since then, I have never got asthma back. I never got bronchitis back. It's amazing. Yes, we all get sick, but I get a cold. I don't get anything serious. I haven't had a strep throat in 30 years. I haven't had bronchitis. I've never had TB or pneumonia or any serious issue. Okay, so I truly believe in my heart that is from my decisions in my vocal care and what I do. Okay, so foods. Okay, so I also believe that you should avoid red meat because red meat is the hardest thing to digest. Okay, it's the most acidic thing on the planet, like steak and things. And if you plug up your digestion, if your digestion has to work hard to digest something, then things back up. So believe it or not, your intestinal health is related to your vocal health. So if you're blocked down here, you're blocked up here, okay? That's real important to understand. So if you are going to choose to eat meat, okay, then my suggestion would be to lean towards oily fish. Salmon, for example, is considered a food that is for the lungs and for the sinuses. The omegas and the different oils that are in that are anti-inflammatory. They're soothing. They're conditioning. So, for example, if you are feeling like you have dry sinuses, your lungs are hurting because of weather or pollution, salmon is going to be a better choice. Sardines are very good. Sardines are also excellent for eye health. Okay, so lean towards that. And then limit, your like I would do no red meat consumption. If you are going to eat a little meat, stick more with a little bit of chicken, a little bit of turkey, lean more that way, okay? And then stay with like white fish, salmon, and avoid all shellfish, okay? Which has chemicals they use to open up those shells that can cause swelling, can cause problems. You've heard of people eating shrimp and their throats close up, right? Okay, or lobster and things like that. So avoid it. That just makes sense, okay? So those are some things for foods. It's good to start learning a little bit about herbs and spices and how they work to aid in health. And a holistic doctor can help you with that. So I believe in working with, for example, acupuncturists, herbalist, Chinese medicine, and going more that approach over pharmaceutical. Now, if you are on any kind of pharmaceutical for any vocal, allergies, whatever, know that those pharmaceuticals are possibly helping a symptom, but they don't get rid of the problem. Again, I'm going to just say for myself, as a child having very severe asthma, they shot me full of cortisones, inhalers, and then you become addicted to that. You can't get off of that. It screws with your whole body. Inhalers, for example, will destroy your serotonin levels. They destroy your neurotransmitter chemicals. To me, they're screwed up, okay? That's just my opinion. So if you are on something, you want to start working to try to get off of that. Okay, so we covered then pretty much diet, some basic things. There's much more, but this is just an overview of some basics that will be very helpful to you. Okay, now in addition to that, okay, the next thing we want to talk about with vocal health are what are other things I can do to stay vocally, to stay in perfect vocal health. Okay. So one thing is doing breath work daily, okay? And I believe in what is called pranayama, okay? Pranayama or pranayama, depending on, where you hear. That is a yoga term. Prana means breath. Yam or yama means exercises or technique. So I'm going to be showing you today some simple yoga breath exercises that will keep you in brilliant vocal health. I am truly amazed with all of my wonderful, professional singers and actors that I work with daily, that when they start doing this, how much better their voice sounds, less problems, feeling great, having energy all day, and really having beautiful, voice that projects. Okay, so let's talk about some simple exercises. The first breath work I'm going to show you is called Hatha. It comes from gentle Hatha yoga. This is a very, very simple breath technique that will start to strengthen your diaphragmatic muscles for singing, calm everything. And what I mean by calm, get rid of gook in the throat, open up sinuses, help you relax. This is a good one to do every morning when you wake up, to do this before you sing or before you, practice your acting or voiceover, okay? And let me show you this. Okay, I'm going to sit up straight for a second. Okay, here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in for 4 counts with our mouth closed and putting our tongue resting between the teeth, behind the front teeth. Just a very relaxed face. When we breathe in, your belly wants to go out for 4 counts. After we do that, we will hold our breath for 4 counts. When we breathe out, we're going to make what is called ujjayi breath. Now what that is just like what I call Darth Vader breath. We're going to close our mouth and make a ha sound in the back of our throat, very gently. And as you're breathing out, your belly should kind of come in very slowly. And then we're going to hold for 4 counts. Let me demonstrate this breath. Okay, this is called hatha. Okay, here we go. Okay. I know you probably couldn't hear the ujjayi breath because of the microphone, but that's sort of the basic. Okay, now if you have any questions on that, all you have to do on YouTube is type in hatha breathing. There's many other people showing this specific exercise. Now, if that's easy for you, and you go, oh, I got that, that's no problem, then try doubling the exhale. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 8, hold for 8. Okay, try to do this process for 5 minutes. You can also sit in a cross-legged or a half lotus position, which helps to keep your back strong, helps to open up your hips and everything. Okay, so that's a good one. Work your way up. When you get really good, you should be at maybe, at least 8 counts, 8, 8, 8, and 8, or even 8, 8, 16, and 16. Work up to that, okay? You'll be surprised how doing that exercise strengthens your ability to hold notes, to relax, and to have consistency of control. It's interesting. One thing I like to do in the summers is go swimming. And it's amazing that if I practice this daily, I could swim underwater the length of a pool and back, no problem, in one breath. Okay, so it really does strengthen breath. Okay, that's the first exercise I like to show you. The second vocal exercise that's very good is just alternate nostril breathing. This helps to balance brain hemisphere. This helps to clear gook in our sinuses. Okay, it's a very, very simple technique. What you're going to do is taking like your thumb, plug one nostril, breathe in through the other, get as much air as you can. It's okay to lift your chest and breathe into the lungs. Plug, breathe out. As I'm doing this today, this is early in the morning, I'm making this video, I notice I have a little jump. But see, I could feel it releasing and clearing very, very good. So even just doing one, I should feel much, much freer now. Much easier breathing. So if you do that a few times, that's going to clear your sinuses and junk out, okay? And you'll feel much better. It opens everything up so you have a better voice for singing, okay? Another good breathing exercise I like to do is Kapalabhati, or what is called breath of fire. Breath of fire is all you're going to do is keep your mouth closed. You're going to breathe out through the sinuses strong while you pump the body. You're not trying to breathe in. You're trying to just push air out like this. But not this, not breathing in and out, not that's wrong, okay? So you're just focusing on the exhale. Okay, and as you do that, that's going to oxidize your body. Okay, that's going to clear sinuses. I do 1 or 2 of these, and if it's early in the morning, I usually have to clear my sinuses. Everything starts flushing immediately. It's very, very good. I actually can do 1 full hour of that, okay, to really cleanse and clear, and it's very, very powerful. Okay. Now, since in California right now, we're into the summer month and it's starting to get hot again, a lot of people say, well, how do I cool down my throat with breath if I'm irritated, if I have a burning sensation, inflammation? This breath exercise is very good for cooling down your breath and sinuses. Here it is. I'm going to curl my tongue. and I'm going to breathe in like a straw. Then I'm going to put the tongue on the roof of my mouth, and with my mouth closed, breathe out. So it looks like this. Okay, that is very soothing to the vocal cords. Okay, so those are a few breaths. There are way more advanced breathing I'm going to be showing on another video. I just want to give you an introduction to some breath. Okay, for singers, actors, voiceover artists. Okay, so we talked about breath work. We talked about diet, and we've talked about beverages. A couple of other things that are very, very good to do for singers is neti potting your sinuses. So that's nasal irrigation. That is better than using inhalers or nasal sprays, okay? Because nasal sprays can actually temporarily clear, but they tend to block as well and cause swelling. So a neti pot, you can look that up at any health food store, CVS pharmacy, Walgreens, places like that should carry them. And with nasal irrigation, you'll get some nasal salts, okay? And you put a little bit of that in with distilled water or purified water into what looks like a little genie's lamp. It has a little nozzle. You lean your head over and you put it in your nose, and you just kind of drop your jaw and let the water clear out, okay? And then do the other side. You're trying to get a stream going, meaning you want to see if you can get the water just coming out of the other nostril very, very slow. And it gets all up in the upper sinuses, clears a lot of gook. Doing that once a day, or if you're really congested, up to maybe 2 times a day, it's very good for clearing out toxin and junk that might accumulate. And again, depending on where you live, these could definitely be factors. Like I have clients that come to me from areas like Palm Springs, desert, 112, high Santa Ana winds, and they just pick up a lot of junk in the air. It's really interesting sometimes when it is really polluted to see how much stuff comes out too. You know, I had a student come over here and he was so congested I had him go in my bathroom and use his neti pot, and I mean it was just like gray junk coming out of his sinuses, and I'm like, wow, it is amazing how much that does clear out. So that's a very useful tool. Another useful tool is using a mister or a diffuser. If you hold on for 1 second, I'm going to show you one I use. Okay, this is a diffuser. I picked this one up at Whole Foods. And what this has, I'm going to take this apart to show you guys. This has a little knob here. You fill this area with water, and you can also put medicinal oils. Like let's say you're congested, a little bit of eucalyptus helps open up the sinuses, helps drainage. I usually use a very gentle purifying oil mixture with a calmative. Like I personally like a little bit of like orange oil with just a little bit of chamomile, some very soothing things. That what happens is when you put this back on, you put the water in, you screw it on, it goes on this. Okay, let me get this in, there we go. And then it has a little button. You press this, mist is going to come out. And it's going to help purify your air. It's going to help put moisture in the air if it's dry, okay? Sleeping near one of these is very good because it will keep you open while you sleep. What I notice with a lot of people is a lot of people don't drink enough water, and then when they're sleeping, you know, your heads are down in pillows, they're near dust. People often wake up totally congested and feeling lousy, right? So this prevents that, okay? And it's a very simple tool. They're very inexpensive, maybe $30, $40, you know, not too bad, right? And they really, really do help. So that's another thing that you can do for your sinus health. Okay? Very, very good. Another thing you should be checking every so often is for buildup in your ears. A lot of people forget that. And a lot of times, when we have sinus gook, it can get it can drain into our ear canal and stuff. So checking to see if you have ear wax, occasionally doing some ear coning to flush out your ears also helps to flush out this jaw area. Many singers that are new to singing, or actors that are new to singing, new to acting, sorry, have specific vocal issues. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about is where you place your resonance when you are singing or talking. Now, I'm going to show you some things that are incorrect first, because you probably maybe are experiencing this yourself. Okay, so a lot of people that are new to the voice tend to talk back on their throat. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put my air back here. Now, if you notice how I'm talking, I sound hoarse. You can barely understand what I'm saying. It's not projecting. Okay, so my air is back here. Now, if your air is back on the throat, it's almost like taking a hair dryer down your throat and just drying and irritating all this. So we don't want that. That is wrong. Also, depending on your vocal range, there's tendencies that tend to happen. Sopranos, which are the highest voices, especially young girls, tend to talk very quiet, very thin like this, and the air's back here. Okay, so that tends to be specifically a soprano issue. Okay, but it can happen with everybody. Okay, but just wanted to make that point. So here's another thing I see in California. And specifically, this is a male problem. Now, I'm personally a bass baritone. Basses and baritones, please listen up, because this tends to be a problem with most guys, especially in California. That is when you talk or sing or act, pulling the tongue back. There's actually, believe it or not, a musical term for that. I love the name because it sounds kind of funny. It's a German word. It's called a Kernördel. Is that a great word? You have a Kernördel. A Kernördel is pulling the tongue back. So, like, dude, if I'm from California and I kind of talk like most guys out here, see where my tongue is? Way back in the throat, pulling against the throat. I sound very swallowed. This is typical Californian talk, dude. Right? Okay? It's so funny when new people call me up and I just hear that immediately. I know exactly what's going on. I had a singer the other day, a new person come to me. He's like, hi, I live in Huntington Beach, California. I want to start taking some vocal lessons. And he just sounds swallowed. I'm going, oh God, it must hurt his voice. Okay? So we want to stop that. So tongue placement is very important, okay, in the quality of maintaining your voice. Another thing I see a lot, which is sometimes called nasality, but nasality is really not that it's up in the nose. It's actually that there's tension in the tongue, in the jaw. Now, we have many dialects throughout the U.S., and you'll hear this specifically on the East Coast, what I call the Bostonian dialect. Yeah, I'm going out to pack my car. Right? My name is Larry. I'm going out to pack my car. Look how tight my jaw is. Okay? That jaw tension is going to cause vocal problems as well. And we can get, from talking this way all the time, all kinds of issues with TMJ, tight jaw, inability to open, all those kind of problems. Congestion, stagnation in those areas. Okay, so those are the major vocal problems. So then people say, well, then what do I do? Okay, so here's how to protect your voice in the way you speak. Your air needs to go to the hard palate. Right there. If I talk right there, all of a sudden it sounds like I'm on a microphone. My voice sounds louder. I'm not feeling it here, I'm feeling it here. Okay, so that's something you can practice. Thank you for joining me today. I know these exercises are very helpful, and please try these out. Feel free to write comments or questions. I get thousands a day, but I'm usually good about getting back with people. If you do happen to live in Orange County, Long Beach, LA County, I am available for private coaching, and you can visit my website at the end of this video, jamesrspencer.com. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all radiant vocal health, long careers. Okay? Thank you so much. Have a great day.